What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. The 2022 to 23 season preview of the Boston Celtics, my guys. We know there's a lot of news and a lot of rumors swirling about the head coach, but I promise we're just going in alphabetical order here. It's the second team up. But we got our guys, Skee Profit and Rob Veno, here with us today to break down this team preview and win total projection. What's up with you, Rob Veno? How you doing, brother?
I'm good today, buddy. As always, a Thursday at this time of year is every day's a crowded day, right? When these sports start overlapping. I mean, here we are doing NBA previews in the absolute heart of football season. So just shows that there's always something to work on. And one more time, hopefully we're doing these things with the purpose of bringing some type of information that can get the audience paid here, right? And we're going to give you our thoughts on it, the way we're betting it, and hopefully what we can tell you here can make you some cash.
I hope so, because I like cash, Skee. What about you, my brother?
Yeah, hey, I made a lot of moves on these win totals early, and I'm realizing a lot of these numbers are moving. I don't do a whole lot of self-promotion, but I did put out an NBA win total, and it's win totals and futures thing out on Wager Talk, and it's 19 of them already out there. So if you want to get some of these numbers before they move, that's a place where you can get involved. But I'm here breaking them down with y'all every day.
Yeah, that's a good point there, man. Shout out to the chat as well. My guy Chris be capping. He doing some team previews over there as well. I definitely got to come through for that Mavericks one, my guy, for sure. It's tough right now, me trying to find some time, but we're gonna get to it. What's up? Yeah, man, Skee, y'all go ahead, make sure y'all go check him out at Wager Talk, him and Rob, guys. But Skee's gonna be posting some of those win totals up there, so make sure you get those before they move here. But let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about this about these Celtics. A lot going on. They did make it to the finals in Udoka's first year. Now, I mean, I'm not really a messy guy. Don't really care about it, unfortunately, but we got to talk about it. They may not have their head coach, regardless of the reason. They may not have their head coach for the whole season. Could be some drop off because what happened before, right, Rob? The team, they needed a coach to hold the guys accountable. They were kind of, obviously, they're a younger group. They were kind of erratic all over the place. Udoka seemed like he had good discipline over the guys. So I really think that's key. If he's not there, how will this go? We know that Jaylen Brown's possibly disgruntled over there as well, Rob. So how are we looking at this thing? Let's start off with the coach. How do you think this is going to affect the team?
Yeah, let's start with that, Jay, an overview before we get into numbers here. Because if we remember to last year, this was a team that was very, very middle of the road for quite some time. They didn't really buy into Udoka's system in the beginning. And remember, there was a lot of infighting, supposed infighting, right? Jaylen Brown cannot coexist with Jason Tatum. And Marcus Smart took it upon himself, which he usually does and should, to try and straighten out the whole group. I was thinking about this morning, and my first thought was they can run themselves. But then I thought to last year when they really couldn't run themselves and Marcus Smart had to get involved, that, if that happens again and the coach can't straighten it out the way Udoka did, it could be troublesome for the Celtics. So it could go either way, right, Jay? I can't definitively sit here and say which way it's going to go. I think we have to sit and find out. But hopefully the year and the sort of first half turmoil that Boston went through, they learned from, and they can coach themselves on the floor. To add to it real quick, they do bring in Malcolm Brogdon this year, another veteran leader type guy who probably has to walk in and himself try to fit into the Boston system, right? He's not going to come in and dictate things, but he is a leader at the top. So like you're saying, this is a questionable situation, and it comes at a bad time, right before preseason is going to start, right before the season is going to start. It's difficult for them, but hopefully I would like to think that the Celtics right now are mature enough to, no matter who the head coach is, probably somebody on staff will be elevated, right? Whoever it is, they can, on the floor, not get at each other's throat the way they did last year for a little bit of time.
Yeah, that's facts right there. It's definitely going to affect them, man. But we know that these players, they're grown men, but they are younger guys, right, Skee? So we follow Celtics pretty closely, all three of us. But Skee, what do you think? How is this Udoka situation gonna? Man, it'll be so tough, bro. If he's out the whole season, that's gonna be really tough. Skee, what you think about this coaching situation?
I agree with Rob's observation that if they start to have problems where people are bumping heads or fighting over the ball or this or that, you might need a guy like Udoka to straighten it out. So it could be tough, but at the end of the day, I think this group has enough chemistry to where they'll still be able to play well together throughout the regular season. It's really going to be the playoffs where they're going to miss Udoka, because I do think he's a great coach. So regular season, I think it won't affect them too much, but watch out in those playoffs.
Nah, facts right there, man. My guy Beer to Go Baby coming in with some inside info there. I won't speak on it, but y'all can read, man. So hey, check out the chat. Every show, guys, check out the chat, man. It's really popping, and it's more people in the community, right? That's talking, that's going amongst themselves, plays, totals, inside info. You see what I'm saying? All that, man. But let's talk about this Brogdon edition. Now, I wish we could talk about Brogdon and Gallinari, but just some info for you guys. Gallinari is injured. Basically, he's going to be out for the whole season here with that ACL, MCL tear that happened in Eurobasket, whatever. So, but they do have a new point guard, right? That's what they needed. That's what they were really missing in the playoffs. We all know Marcus Smart is no damn point guard. They got away with doing it. They got far enough. I'm surprised they got that far with it, to be honest with you. But you need a real point guard out there, guys. That's just basketball 1-on-1. You're going to need rebounding. You're going to have to play some lick of defense, and you need a true point guard out there that can run the show and handle the ball, handle the ball up the court, right, Rob? So we saw Marcus Smart with plenty of turnovers. He's defensive shooting guard out there. It's simple. How do you like Brogdon coming over here as the floor general, Rob?
Yeah, that's exactly it, Jay. And I mean, we need to look no further than to the finals when they played Golden State, where it wasn't just Marcus Smart who couldn't handle the ball. And I mean, even Milwaukee started this a little bit earlier in the playoffs against Boston, where we learned that Jason Tatum is not a great ball handler. He likes to bullishly go to the rim and not pull up for short jumpers, and he was getting stripped. And Jaylen Brown would try to get to the rim and get stripped or charged. It was all of these guys. There really wasn't a true ball handler amongst any of them. And so you bring in Malcolm Brogdon. To my surprise, guys, because I looked this up this morning prior to the show, I thought, well, Malcolm Brogdon's assist to turnover ratio has to be way better than Marcus Smart's. But career-wise, it's actually not. I mean, it's good. Malcolm Brogdon, 4.8, almost 5 assists to 1.8 turnovers. So basically a 5-2. And Marcus Smart, 4.5 to 1.8. So it's really the same overall numbers, but you can see in the last 2 years when Marcus Smart has been asked to be the point guard, like you mentioned, Jay, that's when the turnovers have increased. Fair. You can keep him off the ball, and he doesn't have to, make decisions passing the ball or make decisions going to the rim. It's a little easier. So I also find that, when you check there too deep, Boston can use a lot of guard combos now. I mean, you can actually play Smart and Brogdon together because Brogdon can take the ball, and they're very good defensively, right? Anytime you have Malcolm Brogdon, a kid who learned defense under Tony Bennett at Virginia in college, where all they do is play defense, you got two pretty good guys at the top of that defense. So for Boston, I think it was key for them to go get a ball handler. We'll see how big of an asset he is or how much of a difference it makes, because I think Golden State may have laid out a blueprint for anybody who has the roster to do so. And everybody doesn't have Golden State's roster, right? But Golden State showed you quickness, little guys with quickness and wings just to get their hands on the ball and bother people dribbling the basketball. That's a key to stopping Boston from getting to the rim. And we'll see if other Eastern Conference teams pick up on it. I looked again this morning, and Boston, up until this Udoka thing, was the favorite to win the East. And in fact, I think I saw favorite to win the championship. Those odds have to change at some point in time. I know Skee, and you can talk about it, the season over under win total under was a way you looked, and I can't disagree with that at all at this point.
Yeah, Skee, let's talk about this win total. First off, what did you get it at, and how do you think Brogdon impacts this win total?
Yeah, I was talking to Rob back when he was out here in Vegas about this one. I'm like, hey, Rob, man, you got to get this one in. I like this one a lot. But I got under 56.5, and I did check it this morning. It's down to 52.5.
Damn.
So that's what I'm saying.
Early bird, boy, the early bird.
That's why I started off the show and just saying I've been playing these early. So if you want to get involved, go ahead and get involved. But before I talk too much about the win total, because I have a lot to say about that, I'll just say I do agree with what Rob was saying, and you got to watch those numbers, because if you just listen to those numbers, it sounds like it's saying, Smart is just as good as Brogdon in that regard to playmaking and stuff like that. And we all know that's not the case. So I agree with what he said. In the playoffs, in a season in general, the Celtics need to run an offense. In order to do that, you need a point guard. Just stop handing the ball to Jason Tatum and trying to tell him to do everything, or handing it to Jaylen Brown and telling him to do everything. So I do think that will help him a lot. But this win total, last year, I was real high on the Celtics, just because everything going on in the division. You had the drama with Philly. You had the drama with the Nets. It's no more drama this year. You got teams that's over there hungry. The Nets, I saw Kyrie say the other day that, the best thing that happened to them was to get swept by the Celtics. I think they're going to be focused this season. And you got Slim Harden over there. He's going to be focused up with Embiid. So I just think I just don't think it's going to be as easy as it was last year. And they got 51 wins last year. That was enough to win the division. The total this year, like I said, it opened 56.5, but down to 52.5. I mean, like I said, they won the division last year with all that drama going on and didn't even get 53. So I just think you have to go under if you're playing the Celtics win total this year.
Yeah, that's a good point there. That's a good point, because obviously they're coming off the finals run where they lost. I mean, this isn't football, but maybe could they have a little bit of a hangover? And this is the key for me, guys. When teams make it that far, now they know what it takes to get there. So they'll probably taper off in the regular season, right? They know, we rest some guys here, rest some guys there. We just need to be at our best when the playoffs start. You saw the Bucks do it last year as well, and I talked about it all season. Complacency during the regular season where it just didn't matter as long as they got a good enough seed, or really just get into the playoffs, because that's when the real game starts. You can either be the 7th or 8th seed. Obviously, it'll be harder, but really you got to line up versus the team that you're going against and beat them in a 7-game series. It's really that simple. So a lot of them figured out that's when the real season starts. No real reason to go balls to the wall. Last thing I got to mention here, guys, Robert Williams did just have surgery, or some type of microscopic surgery on his knee. Obviously, the one that wasn't 100% last year. So he's going to be out for like 1 to 2 months here, guys. We have to talk about Robert Williams' impact on this team. He is one of the most important players outside of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum here, Rob. We saw that their defensive numbers were really different. There's a huge discrepancy when he was on and off the court. How do you think that affects him? And I mean, Philly playing them in the first game. If they don't have Williams, Embiid's going to eat. And they got Harrell over there as well. So I actually kind of just gave you foresight to what I'm looking at maybe for the first game. But, Rob, how do you think the Robert Williams injury impacts his team?
Yeah, real quick, I'll backtrack first and say that's why a guy like me goes out and tries to make friends with people like Skee and you, because I just in being friends with Skee got under 57.5 just from listening to him. I wasn't even looking at that at the time. So I'll thank you publicly here on the show, Skee, for getting me on that. Robert Williams, we all know, guys, it's a difference maker. There's no question. The rebounding, the defense. When you look to the backup center on this team, it's Luke Cornett. He's a totally different center. Luke Cornett is going to roam the 3-point line like he did at Vanderbilt. I mean, what are we? Can I say it like you, James? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? It's a different type team, and maybe they have to go smallish because they can. Their 2 deep is pretty good, and they do have some type of flexibility, adaptability to go different styles, and maybe it's wiser for them to try and play a faster pace without Robert Williams while he's out, because Luke Cornett, if you just look in that Eastern Conference at the centers, you mentioned Embiid, but we could go Adebayo and a bunch of others. I mean, Giannis in Milwaukee, Brook Lopez actually in Milwaukee. They're going to kill this guy on the interior. So that's a deficiency that Boston has to coach through. They got to schematically beat that deficiency, right? Because you're not going to do it fundamentally. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm with you. Robert Williams, a huge issue on the boards, on the defensive side, and Boston may. This affects how we bet totals, Jay. I'm a totals better in the NBA. So Luke Cornett, what he may bring from the 3-point line, he's certainly going to give up on the defensive end. Noah Vonleh behind him. None of that thrills me from a defensive standpoint.
My guys, real quick in the chat, I want to ask if your numbers are still up. Obviously, they've had the NBA games up, had the Christmas games up for a while. I just want to know if you have the October 18th line still up. I just want to know that, guys, in the chat. Skee, how do you think this Robert Williams? My guy says Luke Cornett is a bucket. We wilding, but Skee, how do you think this? How do you think the Robert Williams injury affects the team, my brother? And second question, Skee, if you wanted back to back. Do you think that Jaylen Brown will still be disgruntled when the season starts?
Well, number one, obviously their defense is going to take a big hit because he's the anchor. And outside of, it's just going to be Marcus Smart really playing defense. So I'll agree with what Rob's saying as far as I'll probably be looking more towards overs in those games until he gets back in the lineup. And I'm not looking for the Celtics to be playing that well. A big part of why they had success last year was when they had their starting five in the lineup, because that's when they had their best defensive rating. So that's what I think about them missing Robert Williams. That's a huge loss. Mm-hmm. And then second part to that question, my bad. Remind me, Jay.
Now, Jaylen Brown, obviously they were about to trade him. I just want to know. Obviously, he didn't like that, but he didn't end up getting traded. But just the way I like to look at games, psychological standpoint, is he fully invested? Because now it's like, oh, you tried to trade me. See what I'm saying? I thought that I was one of the cornerstones for you for future, but you throwing me around in trade. So I know that he feels some type of way.
I agree. And he could be disgruntled, or it could be motivation for him to come out here and show that he's the best person on the team. In my opinion, bro, and it's not going to be the popular opinion, I like Jaylen Brown more than I like Jason Tatum, just because I think he's more of a dog. I just hate – I used to like Jason Tatum, but I don't love the way he plays. Yeah, they got the lines up. You know they got him up, bro. They want all the money they could get anytime. They're going to have him up.
Me too. Sixers. I hate to give you guys a free pick for the first. I hate to give you guys a pick so early, but Sixers plus the 5. What the plus? Rob, what the fuck are we doing here? They cashing. They went outright. I'll tell you this, just a little snippet. When teams have all this going on and they have to answer all these questions about it, this is a distraction. They'll be answering questions about this until probably 1 month into the season, guys. You know how they drag it out. It's a distraction. I'll be on Philly game 1, especially without Robert Williams. I'll be on Philly. It's pretty simple there, guys. Yeah. But anything else on this one, Rob? What do you think about the Jaylen Brown or what do you think about that pick, Philly versus the Celtics?
Well, you have to love the pick. And to your point, Jay, about distraction, it's so true. If you were to turn the dial today to any one of 6 ESPN networks, all you're going to find is these people talking about the situation that's going on right now. And it's going to continue and continue and continue. And, these reporters nowadays, they keep digging until they find the worst possible scenario they can find. So there's going to be no end to the questions that these guys have to go through. While everybody else is getting ready for preseason, Boston's going through this right now. I think it's a rough situation for them. And just backtracking to what we talked about, I'm going to single out one thing here specifically that I will probably be playing with the Celtics, and we hit on a little bit, but I'll probably be looking to them in more situations than not to play them over, because when you go through the top 2, the 10 rotation or 9 rotation on the team, they're better offensive players than they are defensive players. When you get to the backups, got guys that can score. Derek White can score in regular season. Grant Williams can score regular season. Malcolm Brogdon can score. And the defensive stuff without Robert Williams just finds its way to the back burner. So hopefully odds makers don't increase Boston totals. I don't think they will. Generally speaking, and Skee, we talk about this on a daily basis on the show. When there's a major injury, totals go down. Game totals go down. So, oh my God, Robert Williams is out 211. They bet it down to 207. And you can step in and capitalize on stuff like that. So that's probably where I'll be looking in a lot of instances to play the Celtics over with game totals. And I would like to see how far they drop as far as, these future odds are concerned to win Eastern Conference. It's about time to take somebody else, one of these other teams that's behind the Boston Celtics with a plus sign next to their name, because I don't know that Boston can endure what they're going to have to endure this season.
Yeah, that's facts right there, man. Looks like I just left the casino the other day, man. Looks like I'm gonna have to. Looks like I gotta go back out there, man. Hop on there. This shit's gonna move, guys. And all honesty, this gonna people hadn't really
Yeah.
just realized with everything's going on. That Sixers shouldn't be. I mean, like I say, this isn't a game one show, but Sixers shouldn't be sitting at +5 right now. Let's just put it that way. I like it. I'm about to go hop on it, my guys. But
Hey, Jay, real quick, and I know they're not, but if player props were up right now, I mean, honestly, Embiid last year on average was probably 47.5 PRA, and he's going to go head to head with Luke Cornett. How are we going to get with him when it comes prop time PRA with Joel Embiid in that game, first game out of the chute?
yeah, no, I'm with you. Yeah, I like the spot, man. I like the spot. Last time they faced off, Celtics smacked them 135-87 as well. Just makes it even better. But yeah, I'd lean towards the under on the win total, especially with the coaching. With that coaching, it's like, say if guys could have went and got on net early this morning. I'm not sure what it was like last night or yesterday, but I'm sure he's gotten hit a little bit just on net alone. It is very impactful, guys. I know it's funny. We want to make jokes about it, all this, but just betting wise, we like to, you know what I'm saying? We like cash. So we looking at it. How can we make our pockets fatter off of this? Especially early in the season. I do think the Celtics may just be a phase, especially against certain teams.
Yeah.
The Robert Williams injury is probably even bigger than the coaching, to be honest with you. Just especially like matchup wise to team, but the coaching missing Udoka is going over there. I've seen plenty of times where he called a timeout, getting on the team's ass. If you don't have a coach stepping in that can do that, it'd be interesting to see what happens. I'll be watching preseason closely, guys, as I advise you guys to do as well. Watch, especially with a new coach. You want to see his schemes, how he's thinking, how he's talking to the players. So I'll be watching the Celtics rather closely, like I always do, guys. Skee, any other thoughts on this one, my brother?
I mean, y'all killing it, man. All else I can add is I didn't say the Celtics have the 6th least scheduled wins, which means they're going to be at a rest disadvantage a lot of the season. And I'm in agreement that they're a fade early in the season. I mean, you talk about Robert Williams, and in general, just looking at the schedule they got to face, they got the Sixers, the Heat, and then the games that they're supposed to win, they're on like back-to-backs. First the Magic and the Knicks on the back-to-back, but they play the Cavs twice. And they play the Bulls twice. They don't have, an easy shoe for the first 10 games or so. I think you fade them out the gate until the bookmakers adjust and start to put better prices. So I'm with you on that.
Yeah, good point there. And Skee, you took a look towards the under when it was at 56.5. So you got the good look there. Rob, any other thoughts on this one, my brother?
I'm just looking here, guys. Money line on that game that you played already, Jay. Philly plus 165 money line right now. I'm sure you don't see that at game time. So for those who think Philly's going to go in there and win, and if they're going to cover, honestly, guys, if they're going to cover, they're probably going to win that game. Right. It's as important to the 76ers to start the season with that win as anything. So again, I know you alluded to it pretty heavily, Jay, but I can't disagree that Philly plus points, Philly money line in that opening game should be a pretty good look. And we will see. I think your point, one more time, I think your point about the coach and the timeouts is huge. Will the Celtics as a team have enough respect? Watch where these huddles go when the coach calls a timeout. Will they even have enough respect to listen to what he's saying? It'll be an interesting situation. All stuff we'll be looking closely at for sure.
That's a good point there. I can't wait to watch some preseason, see what's going on. But regardless, I mean, for the people that's here that's checking out, you got my play for first day for October 18th already. And I'll probably do a little video on this one as well, so some people can try to get to it before the line changes. But I'll be on Philly plus the 5 and the money line, my guys. First official play for NBA season 2022-23 season, man. Let's go. Appreciate everybody in the chat, man. We appreciate your time as well. My guy Chris, he's doing previews over there as well. I got to get on one of those with him. My guy Ronald in the chat, man. Everybody, y'all cutting up in the chat, man. I see y'all boys over there joking and stuff, but let's try to make some money off of it, right? At the end of the day, man, let's try to get some cash off this, man. And hopefully they don't talk about this Udoka thing more than they talking about the Favre situation. You dig what I'm saying? But we appreciate everybody for tuning in. That's my guy Skee Prophet, man. Go follow him on Twitter right now at Skee Prophet. And you can follow Rob as well at Rob Veno Sports. Go check him out on Wager Talk as well. Both of them have plenty of package up there. Do NFL. We're doing NBA. I know Rob does baseball, college football, all the good stuff, man. Go check my guys out at wagertalk.com. Also, looking at the odds screen as well right now, wagertalk.com/odds. You can compare money percentages, tickets, and you compare odds as well from 8 or 9 different books, some sharp, some square. We always trying to cash, man. Giving you guys the info. It's us against the bookies. Take these motherfuckers to Smack City. Let's go. We out, my guys. Philly cheesesteaks.